Yeah, reminder for your group project. You need to assign yourself to a group already. By end of this week. Go to the canvas and assign accordingly. Maximum 3 people, minimum 2 people. Okay, for the second half, we'll look into risk, definition of risk. Risk linked to a failure of the projects. How you know is failure? You are not achieving the project goal, right? So if you're not achieving the project goal, means you fail the projects. So risk actually is a statistics assessment. So as a statistic assessment, you talk about probability. How many percent you can fail, how many percent you can achieve. So risk is a measurement of probability and consequences of not achieving a defined project goal. Risk. The rest you read. Okay. So these are the uncertainty. Uncertainty, these are the example of question when you talk about risk. For example, if you are in the aerospace engineering, you design with a new aircraft. So you need to ask, can the specific aircraft range be achieved? So you design a new aircraft, so you need to know whether the new design can achieve or not. It can fly to a certain distance or not, right? So can a computer be produced within budgeted cost? Can the new product launch date be made, and so on? Okay. Okay. So for example, case study. So if you have a probability of not meeting the new product introduction date is 0.15, 1 is 100%, 0.15 is 15%. So however, when risk is considered, the consequences associated with the event must also be included. So if you go A and go B, go A have a probability of occurrence is 5%, and B is 20%. So which goal is more risky? Which goal is more risky? A or B? You understand the word probability, right? Probability of happening is 5%. A is 5%, B is 20%. Which one is more risky? So B is more risky. However, if goal A keep on repeating, frequently happen, it can also be more risky or more serious than goal B. Okay. So if you only look at this statement, the answer is B. But if you work in the real scenario, if goal A, although the probability of happen is 5%, however, the frequency of that incident happen is higher than B, then A can be more serious than B. Okay. So if the consequences not meeting goal A are, in this case, more than 4 times, it will be more severe than B, means the frequency of happening. Okay. So without further explanation, if you look at these two statements, B is a higher risk. However, if the frequency of A is higher than B, A can be more serious than B. Understand? Understand? Can I? Can I? Okay. Okay. So there are two parameters when we measure risk. One is probability and impact or consequences. One is probability of that event happen and the consequences or impact when that thing happen, what can it affect? For example, machine broke down from 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. What is the loss of that company? Okay, that is the risk. So probability of that. So this is just a pictorial or scale diagram. So you look at the y-axis is probability of loss, and the x-axis is impact. So here is no impact, this is large impact. So if you are in the far right top corner, your project is in the high risk, means high probability of having loss and large impact to the company, means it's fall under high risk. If it's low impact or near to no impact and low probability of happening, then become low risk. Then you got middle one. This is just a pictorial or not scalable graph. It's just a graphical presentation just to illustrate what is high risk, what is low risk. Of course, in the middle is moderate. Okay. So in mathematics order, you write risk is in the function bracket 2 parameter probability and consequences. It's on mathematics. Okay. For engineering student, this one sorry for you. Means it's very easy for you. But this formula might be very challenging for management student or business student. To them, they might think the whole afternoon, what is this one? For you, you are very familiar with this one. Okay. Okay, the rest you read. Okay. Now, if you know about hazard means the danger or things that can contribute to the risk situation. This hazard can be reduced if you take action to avoid them. Okay. So for example, you know about this situation, right? In Malaysia, lots of these pothole things, right? So for example, you travel every day to your work, right? And you know that on the road have large hole, right? So you know that hole have a large hole on the road is much greater danger to a driver who is unaware of it to the one who's travel on the road frequently. So if you are the red car, why the red car do not travel here? Because red car travel on that road almost every day. He know there's a hole here. So this red car will avoid this hole after he know about the information. The white car will hit the hole, the high frequency to hit the hole because this white car driver don't have experience of knowing that there is a hole on this road. Okay, so how you avoid hazard is to take precaution of the situation. So second definition of risk, just now, risk is probability and consequences, right? This is the equation just now. Risk is in a function of probability and consequences. Second definition, risk also in a function of hazard and safeguard. Safeguard means your safety precaution that avoid hazard. Okay, there's an X and Y here, or there are parameter A, parameter B. What do you think? If you increase your safeguard, what happened to the hazard? If you increase your safeguard, what happened to the hazard? Hazard go up or go down? You increase safeguard, hazard go down. I mean, very simple logic. Okay, so this one is just elaboration. Okay, most of the time in the realistic case, you cannot reduce hazard most of the time. The hazard is there. You cannot reduce. So you want to bring down the risk as a whole, you increase safeguard parameter. Okay. Okay. So this is another table to talk about risk, issue, and problems. There's a definition of risk, issue, and problem by using the function of probability, consequences, these two, to define risk, issue, problems, and opportunity. This is the time frame. Is the probability between, just now we define risk, right? Risk is in the function of probability and consequences. So if your probability is within 0 and 1, and the consequences is more than 0, means it can be happen, or consequences is there, right? More than 1. There's no dash here, means it's more than 1 positive value. And the time frame is in future, then it fall under risk definition, risk definition. Risk always talk about future. Okay, what's going to happen if you don't do this one, what's going to happen? Okay, this is risk. Issue. Issue is a future, but probability is 100%. Means it's already happened. Future will going to happen for sure one. Probability. Consequences also more than positive value. So if probability is 100%, it become issue. Risk will become issue. Okay. So for example, probability, you play with probability. Let's say we take a factory setup. Can you give an example? What is the risk based on this table? Can you give an example of risk and issue? Let's say you pick a manufacturing scenario. Manufacturing, let's say you have one machine. Wire extrusion, let's say. You are fabricating a wire for construction projects, right? So if your probability of machine broke down is there, you can project what happened to the risk of if you have some quality issues or machine broke down, it can affect your future things. So this is the risk lah. This is how you define. Okay. Now the issue probability is 1. For example, this machine go in diameter 10 mm, come out diameter 1 mm, 10 become 1. Every time this one come out is 10. So the issue here, so sometimes if this one come out 0.8, 0.8 mm, 0.9 mm, 1.1 mm. If this one output always in this range, is an issue of this machine, for example. Means the probability sure will happen. For example, then problems. Problem is what happened now at the present time. Probability is 1 because already happened and happening now. The time frame is now. Consequences is more than 1. Another one, opportunities. This word is highly mentioned in the business world. They mention opportunity or what, opportunity or what. Time frame unclear. It can be now, it can be future. Probability of happen, you don't know. Consequences, you don't know. It's an optimistic projection. Yeah. So this is for space system engineering, where they define the risk, issue, and problems. Okay, the rest you read. Okay, 3 common tolerance of risk. Tolerance means the way you handle it. You as a project manager, you are either risk averter, or you're risk neutral, or you're risk seeker. Okay, there are 3 profile of tolerance as a project manager or inside the project management. Okay, so U is utility or amount of satisfaction that or pressure that individual receive from a payoff. Y-axis is amount of satisfaction or pleasure that individual receive from a payoff. Amount of money at stakes or can be potentially present technical performance or schedule. Okay. So for example, I pick the risk seeker. Risk seeker, they willing to spend a lot of money even there is no reward. They're willing to spend, willing to seek to get the projects with a lot of money, right? A lot of resources without talking about the payoff, right? So the curve is like this. Okay, but for risk seeker, they will foresee as they invest more time, they will see more higher pay as they give as the time go by lah. You want risk, you want how you know the project manager is a risk seeker? They will sacrifice themselves in the early stage, but as they involve more and more in the project, they will seek for higher profit. Okay, neutral one means you pay, you do, and your profit is equal. So this one is neutral lah, like you give me one machine or I do one machine. No? This one, you give me one machine, I try to do triple output, 4-per output, something like that. This one, risk averter, or very conservative one. I have one machine. I tell the customers I can only provide a certain amount. I cannot promise 100% in 100% capacities. This is the averter. Okay. Okay. So this is a risk taker. So project manager satisfaction increase at an increasing rate when more money is at stake. So if you pay this risk seeker, the profit or the reward is higher, then you'll be there lah. Satisfaction will be there. Then this one, utility at constant rate. This one, more money at stake, project manager satisfaction diminish. Means you give this project manager more resources, he will feel pressure. He like, oh, cannot do it. Like Well, you give me work to do, something like that. So this is a risk taker. So averter prefer more certain outcome and demand a premium to take risk. Means you need to pay first before you ask me to do job. This one. Another one, risk seeker, they prefer more uncertain outcome. They are willing to pay a penalty to take a risk. So these are the profile between two. Of course, these three profiles cannot exist at one single time. It will change from one type to another type from time to time. Okay, one person, it can be neutral, then it go to risk seeker. It can go risk seeker back to neutral, then go to averter. Depends on the age also. When we become older and older or more and more senior, you kind of very conservatively. Okay. Okay, the rest you read. This is what is risk management, blah, 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 blah. Again, planning, identify, analyzing. The adjective or the action term here, planning, identify, analysis. Analysis, then what do you do? Output is, okay, your input. Okay, you take information, your data input, process is planning, identify, analysis. Output is to develop risk response strategies, monitoring, controlling. All right. So this is risk. This is risk management. You have this cycle, identifying, analyzing, action, monitor, and then you control. Then you go back to the cycle. This is risk management. Use this approach in your project report. Elaborate this one in your project report. Okay. You identify the risk in your projects. You do analyze. You take action. What action you take? How you monitor the risk? How you control the risk? This is another one. Risk management process, also same, but this one is more simpler. They also have identified, they have analyzed, but this one they use access. Treat means action and monitor or action. Number 4 is monitor and report means they monitor and control. Okay, both diagram correct. It depends on how you use it. Okay. Okay, still the keyword, planning, identify, analyzing. These three process must be mentioned about when the question asks you about risk management. Okay, planning, identify, analyzing. Then the output is you have a strategies to monitor the changes. Or you memorize this cycle, then you elaborate. Okay, then this is a quiz. Two major component of risk is what? What is the equation for risk? You still remember? What is the answer? What do you think? Risk equal to the function of what? Consequences and probability of happen, right? Okay, uncertainty and impact. This is the second one. Risk management is normally performed by who? Or by how? By what? You need contingency plan, or the definition just now. Risk response strategies. Okay, risk response strategies. Okay. So, future outcome that provide favorable opportunities are called what? Future outcome means the time frame is future. is opportunity lah. This actually is okay. The cost of risk of a risk event usually referred at what? Hazard lah. Okay. So again, for this module, you need to understand the idea of that particular word. Then you explain. Okay, contract management. This one come out last year, final exam, one question. This year, I haven't decided. But usually will be one question here. Right? Contract is a document, right? It's a document. So if you want to know about contract, I'll introduce you to go and watch one movie called Accountant. Quite interesting movie, right? Okay. So contract usually appear in a bidding process. You need to go and bid the projects, right? You as a project manager, you cannot run away from bidding process, right? So in a private company, usually either you go bidding for construction or any projects. Bidding also you give quotation. Let's say you sell machine one, you are the salesperson or your project manager for that sales team. You need to go bidding through giving quotation. For Inti, we have policy at least 3 quotation for if you want to purchase that particular equipment. You need to get 3 quotation. That is Inti. Other company maybe you need to get 5 or 6. It depends. Okay, so these are the things you need, right? Okay, so competitor must negotiate for the content of the contract. Okay, so make sure when you sign a contract, make sure there is a risk protection inside the contract. How you mitigate the risk, or we call it exit policy. Like for example, when HR hire you, when you sign contract for your first job, there is a policy there called exit policy. So when you resign, when can you resign? Then if you resign, what you should do? Or they can hold your salary for a certain month, or they can no need to pay you if you resign without notice and so on. Or you absent from job. In labor law, if you absent from job for continually 2 days, they can fire you. Labor laws. If you don't tell your boss you miss in action for 2 days, they can fire you using the labor laws. Okay, this one you read. This one you read. When you go to work, there is a procurement department. Procurement is a department where they go and purchase things. Okay, procurement is a very important department where they get things and services that you need. Okay, again, you are the project manager. You need to have a good relationship with the procurement department. Because why? Your KPI, your report card is the profit and loss to the big boss. You need to report because you jaga, you take charge of the project. At the end of project, you need to submit a report. That is your KPI. The profit that you bring to the company is the KPI. Procurement is part of the department that help you to achieve your goal faster. If you want your project drag, then you go and give trouble to this person. This person will drag you. Okay. So the rest you read, there's a definition of procurement. Okay. Okay. So what is good procurement exercise? Again, go and memorize what is the procurement practice. Again, this module will always ask you what is the benefit, what is the disadvantages, what is the something good side and bad side. This kind of question. So good procurement practice will give you what? Quality discount, minimum cash flow problems, high quality supplier, and so on. Okay, the rest you read, huh? This one also you read. There are two strategies, corporate and project procurement strategies. This one you read, huh? Okay, this one also you read. Lots of theory. Procurement, it will set one of the following. There are 4 decisions in the procurement process. Huh? 4 decisions. Either purchase all from single source, purchase all multiple resources. Third one, you buy only small portion of the services or good, or you do not do any procurement. This 4 decision is for procurement planning. Huh? This is 4 decision that in procurement plannings. Don't confuse this one with project management decision. In coming slides, you will see for project management, you as a project manager, you need to decide these 4 decisions. This is under procurement unit. Okay. Okay, this one you read. Environment that affect procurement. Macro and micro. Macro is more on environment. For example, recession, inflation. This one is outside one. Okay, whatever lah. This one you read lah. Okay, employment. Okay. So procurement sometimes, for example, if the country high employment rate is high, decision can be made, for example, use only domestic suppliers or contractor rather than foreign workers. All right. So this is happening in Malaysia. Bad news for international student. Currently, our Malaysia want to recruit more talent from Malaysia, even import back talent from overseas, holding Malaysian passport. Right. So a lot of priority will be given to Malaysian and Malaysian PR. Right. So some of you might face some challenges during your internship. Some company, they give priority to the local student rather than international student. Right. And some jobs also. Okay. Yeah. So this is because of the environment things. What else? Okay. Okay, micro is an internal process. It depends on the company decision. Okay, this one you read. Procurement have process. Procurement and process. Just now in the early, don't confuse this one with the our class number 1. Don't confuse with the project management process. Project management process have 5 process: initialization, planning, execution, what? Monitoring, and closing. So this 5, don't confuse with this one. Procurement have plan, conduct, administer, and close. Okay. In your canvas, I think I include this book, book guide. Go and read. Okay. And I expect you to read. Again, try to check. Someone, can you log into Canvas? See if this one inside Canvas. See if this one, this guidebook inside there. Inside the appendix or reference material. Oh. Have or not? Have, huh? Have or not? Have, right? Have, right? No, go to the appendix. You go to the major one. You go to the page. I think that's the front one. Front page. Then you go to this one. You go, row. No, you see chapter 1, right? Row to the down there. You will see appendix. Appendix reference material. Click the first one. Click the first one. The first one. Have, right? Have, have, confirm, have. So again, I stress, I expect you to read this book. I expect you to read this book in the canvas. Most of the info are not inside my slides. And the question, most of the time, will come from this guidebook. Yeah. Don't say, hey, sir, your question, I didn't see inside your slide one. I already mentioned, I expect you go and read this book. Okay. This one also you read definition of contract. You need buyer and seller. So be careful when you look at the question, mention buyer and contractor. Sometimes the question asks you the responsibility of contractor. You need to elaborate. Last final exam question asks about contract from a perspective of contractor. There are 5 or 6 types of contract. Elaborate 3 from a perspective of contractor. If you don't read, then you cannot answer the question. Okay, contract process also important. This, I haven't asked question about this one yet. So very high chances this one will come up. So this one, contract management process, there are few: pre-sales, bidding, and proposal preparation. Then you negotiate, you contract administration, then you close the contract. This 6 process is important when the question asks you about seller contract management process. Again, this slide is about seller contract management process. Just now we mentioned 2 characters here. One is buyer, one is seller. This slide is from the perspective of seller. Yeah. Go and read. Okay. So this one on the contract, there are some wording, technical word. This one also you're going to read. This is like a library or definition of each type of the technical word that used in the contract. This one also go and read. Okay. This question come out last semester. Okay. So either this one come out in your test or final exam. If test asks you already, then final exam won't see this one. Okay. So there are 5 types of contract. Okay, 5 types of contract: fixed price, cost fixed price, CPFF, CPO, CPPF, GMSS, FPIF, CPIF. There are 5 types of the contract. Okay, this one also read lots of theory. I don't want to make you boring. The 5 types, go and read. Each type have their own characteristics. Each type have their own benefit and disadvantages. Go and read. Okay. So for this class, important you know there are 5 types of contract. At least you heard before fixed price. You heard before cost plus fixed fee, guarantee maximum sharing, fixed price incentive free, cost plus incentive free. At least you heard these 5 names before. Your work is going to read the detail. Okay, the rest you read. It's on the slide here. Or this one, I'm not sure this one inside the attachment just now. Okay, for this one you can go and Google a little bit. What does it mean? Right. All these are inside the slides. Okay. This one you read. Okay, this table is important. It summarizes all the points that we mentioned in my slide just now. So cost plus fee, what are the advantages? The advantages, you read, you don't need to memorize all, at least 3 from each of the contract. For example, the question will ask you, elaborate on the advantages and the disadvantages of cost plus fee contract type. You don't need to give me all. Here got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You memorize 3. Here also you memorize 3. You need to elaborate, elaborate a bit from here. These are the keywords that I read from your sentence. At least 1 line sentence. Okay. Then this one is another one. Guaranteed maximum shares saving. Go and read. This one also. Same. Fixed price lump sum. Advantages, disadvantages. Then this one. Fixed price for services material. Don't confuse with the top and the bottom. This one got different one. This one is for services. This one for goods. Okay, have their own advantages and disadvantages. Okay. This one also you read. So you read. Okay. Okay, a little bit more. This one also go very fast. You buy drinks nowadays, right? You seen this thing, right? This one actually is patented. So you don't go and copy and then put in your, let's say you open a cafe, you don't claim this one as your design. People can sue you and get money from if you use without their consent. Okay, it's a patented US patent, so and so. Original is this one. Then it somehow it change shape. Change shape doesn't affect the pattern, because the pattern important is the usage of that particular ideas. It's patented to holding hot drinks. Even though this one doesn't look like this, but this one is to as an insulator to protect your hand or the user from the hot water. This one linked with this pattern, although they look not like same, but the function is same. So people can sue you for using this design by referring to this pattern. Although it doesn't look like same, but application same. Okay, I'll give you the summaries of this one. What is IP? Okay, IP, intellectual properties, have a few groups. Patents can split into 3. Then trademarks, copyright, and trade secret. Patents, utility, design, and plans. So as you can see from this illustration, under patents, there's 3 main family. Utilities means have an application dimension. Means you use it for what? Something. You patent it for what? Okay. Design pattern is a shape. Means you lock the shape. Like for example, what shape? You know that there is a Coca-Cola sexy pattern. You know that the glass, the very, very old classic, the Coca-Cola bottle one. Have you seen? If you're too young, you never seen this one. That one actually is under design pattern. Okay, means the shape lah, the shape. Mickey Mouse, the shape of the Mickey Mouse. That one also pattern, design pattern. Means the outlook lah. You see, already know, oh, this is Mickey Mouse. Okay. Plants pattern, this one is more on the botanic. Means the orchid, especially orchid. The orchid, flowers of a nation. This one. So some plants you cannot simply just grow it. You cannot, because they are patented. So pattern have three. Utility, design, pattern. This one require application. You need to form file. Okay. Trademark, you know lah. Trademark is a symbol. For example, Nike. You see this one, you know Nike. You see Apple, you know Apple. You see Microsoft window. That one is Microsoft window, and so on. This one can be word or symbol. Reebok, you know, you see Reebok is something else. Okay. Mercedes-Benz, the stars, not stars lah, but the symbols, right? Copyright is expression of work. Copyright is a bit different from the IP. Copyright is like camera. You know, GoPro camera. GoPro camera. There is a camera function in the cube. And that one is copyright. A certain shape that you cannot copy. It's a bit different from here. Design pattern and this one is a bit different. Copyright. So this is a work of expression. It can maybe register or not register. It depends on the nation, on the country. This one, trade secret, you know lah, Coca-Cola. Trade secret or secret recipe. The way you bake things, trade secret. Okay, so this table summarize patterns, trademark, copyright, and trade secret. The detail is inside the slides. I'm going to read, but I summarize the thing for you. Can I? But I still need to show you what are the slides. Go and read. Copyright, usually you see the C with this one at the back. Okay, so these are the exercise, top secret. Okay, with this we summarize chapter 1. Next week we start chapter 2. Okay, right, we stop here. See you next. No, this Friday we still have class. This Friday, right? Sign attendance, if you haven't signed.